be performing. Some of these services directly harm people, like the patrols enforcing minor municipal violations that function as a deeply aggressive form of racially targeted taxation, as well as policing protesters who are exercising their First Amendment right to protest racial injustice. The same racism and injustice that the county declared a public health crisis in 2018. Further, Sheriff Lucas has said of the MCSO that we are not trained to deal with persons in mental health crisis. We're not trained to deal with persons that have addictive behaviors, nor are we trained to deal with those juveniles with emotional issues. Yet all of those issues collapse and fall on law enforcement. Milwaukee County needs alternatives to address the situations that law enforcement is absolutely not trained to deal with. So we, the undersigned organizations, ask with urgency that the board cut the proposed allocation to Milwaukee County Sheriff's Office by 25% via Ryan Clancy's amendments, which is approximately $12 million. We have further demand that the money saved from these cuts to the department be allocated to services that we desperately need more investment in. So that includes early literacy, housing security, democratic and community-controlled economic development, which includes union jobs, cultural enrichment for our youth, enhanced park services in low-income areas, expanded health services, and public transportation. MCSO has been unaccountable and has grossly overspent on its 2021 overtime budget. If you reward the MCSO's request for more money, you further undermine the legitimacy of our democratic institutions. We ask that the board take steps to curtail this type of spending, reduce MCSO's budget, and look for creative ways to finance programs that we desperately need in this county. And that's signed by organizations including DSA, Marker, Block, AART, and tons of people in this community who are tired of our money going to policing and prisons rather than what the community actually needs. So thank you for listening to me read that letter.
Thank you, Emily from DSA. I heard union jobs in there. When I say union, you say yes. Union!
Yes!
Union!
Yes!
Fantastic. Now the man of the hour and people's champion, Ryan Clancy. Come on up.
So every year, the Milwaukee County uses a tool called the Balancing Act, right? And it's a great piece of software. You can go online and you can move the dials around. And as a member of Milwaukee County, as a citizen, as a resident, you can figure out where you want our money to go. And every single year, the people in Milwaukee County say that they want fewer dollars to go towards law enforcement, fewer towards prison, fewer towards administration. And every year, the people say that they want more money to go towards parks and mental health and housing and all the things that we know make our community better and safer.
Right.
So this year, in our recommended budget, which by the way does add 6% to the already bloated sheriff's budget, in that budget is $0 for the Balancing Act. So we're not even asking the community where they want those dollars to go anymore. When I asked the county executive's office, what is going on with this? Like, why are we not asking for budget priorities anymore? Because this is a big deal. This is a way to engage the community. They said, we keep getting the same answers year after year after year. To which my reply was yes, and we should act on those answers. We should do what the people actually want instead of not just ignoring them and then not asking the question.
That's right.
So one of my very many budget amendments this year would actually restore $30,000 to the Balancing Act. But I want to give you some background because the letter this year sounds a lot like the letter last year. And it's people from the community, it's organizations, it's individuals demanding a divestment from policing and towards the things that we know make us better. So last year, about this time, I had just had 15 budget amendments crushed. None of them passed. Not a single amendment that would have moved a dollar away from law enforcement and towards human needs passed last year. And it was crushing and it sucked. I did get a couple of things in about accountability and about when we consider the budget, we can also look at how many hundreds of thousands of dollars that our sheriff cost us in lawsuits and payouts. But we didn't move a single dollar last year out of 15 amendments. So this year I did not submit 15 amendments because that would be ridiculous. I submitted 25. And last week in finance recommended, with a lot of stealing and cajoling and really awful sausage being made, recommended $2.4 million to be moved from the sheriff's budget into things that make us better.
Okay.
That's an applause line if you didn't.
Yeah.
It's not a huge jumping up and down number. It's not the $18 million that I asked for.
Something.
It's not the $12 million that was asked for in that letter. And that was a funny mistake on my part. I thought we were asking for a 25% cut from last year's budget. So I asked for that plus the 6% to be taken away. But on Monday, we have an opportunity to defend that $2.4 million worth of proposed cuts, because we're going to vote on it on Monday, and then to do about $16 million more. And I need each of you, if it's important to you, to reach out to your county supervisors today, tomorrow, Monday morning at 9:30 is when we vote, and to ask that these specific things be voted for. Because the things already in the blue file, which is the things that are recommended, are important things. It's infrastructure. It's providing parks rangers instead of sheriffs. It's providing the things that the community has said that we needed and that are important. And it's a long list of amendments. So I'm going to go through them super fast. If there is something out there that speaks to you, then speak to it. So in the blue file, we're going to get rid of the $700,000 camera array that the sheriff wants to put on the lakefront to spy on predominantly brown and black folks when they're doing nothing wrong. This is not after a crime may have been committed. This is people hanging out in a public space. We're going to get rid of that $700,000. We're going to add improvements to parks. We're going to open up Milwaukee County pools, which haven't been opened for 2 years. We're going to have an intern at the Milwaukee County Human Rights Commission. We're going to have a street outreach team, registered nurse, helping people who are not just dealing with homelessness, but also dealing with opiate addiction. And we're going to get rid of a $1.6 million parking lot resurfacing for the Sheriff's Training Academy, which is in pretty decent shape. It has a pothole or two, but it's not in as bad a shape as the South Shore Playground, which literally has huge divots in it and broken slides, right? We're going to take money away from a parking lot for the sheriff and use that to build a playground. So when we're talking about divestment or defunding, we're not talking abstractly about just taking those dollars away. We're talking about making our community better. And I'm not going to go through all 22 remaining amendments that we have on this other one, but there is vital, important things here. Things like harm reduction, things like providing visitation to people who are incarcerated. And I encourage you, I've got the list here, it's online. Find something that speaks to you, talk about your personal experience and how you think this would make your community better. And let's fight for that Monday at 9:30 at the county board.
Thank you so much, Ryan. One more big round of applause for Ryan. You heard it from him first. Find out who your county supervisor is and slide into the DMs. Stay there and be annoying. Next up, we're going to have someone who has been fighting for more funding for parks for a long time. Welcome up Vaughn Mays from Concord.
Thank you. Of course, my name is Vaughn Mays, community activist, Sherman Park resident. Ryan Clancy and Shaquana Taylor both have presented great plans and amendments that show what diverting dollars from even things like overtime look like. Shaquana specifically details diverting as little as $100,000 out to fund essential programs geared towards combating the school to prison pipeline, reentry. I know some of the stuff Ryan is talking about, non-law enforcement, violence prevention, such as the work that ComForce does, and other community-driven resources. I personally, as you have just heard, have had a personal investment in our parks. So yes, this is about balance. It's not about being anti-police. It's not about just being malicious. It's about providing that balance that Ryan spoke of. I didn't know about the Balance Act, but it's crazy that we have a Balance Act, but we are not acting with balance. Ryan also mentioned mental health, which is absolutely a need. that needs to see a focused investment. We are talking about something very serious, something that deals particularly and specifically with violence in our community, people's mental health state, quality of service, quality of life. The county has an opportunity on Monday to actually want to do with it. These are our tax dollars. And we have told them, we have told the city, we have told the state, time and time again, we don't need to be asked anymore. We don't need any more questionnaires. We've already told you for at least the past 10 plus years what we want to see done with our money, what makes the community better. Again, these are our tax dollars and we should not be being taxed without being properly represented. So, of course, we appreciate Ryan for his continued support of people over politics and his continued advocacy whether the cameras are rolling or not. And that is a real statement. Ryan has been a champion for advocacy and activism and grassroots organizers and groups since before he took this office, and he has continued to do that. That is extremely rare. So we need to continue to support Ryan and people like Ryan who get in that office and continue to be activists in their own right. So thank you.
Thank you, Ron. Really quick, I was wondering if anyone from Expo was able to show out. Anyone here from Expo? Okay, well, real quick, shout out to Expo. They wanted to be here with us today, but unfortunately their event ran a little bit long, so couldn't make it. Ryan Clancy, they're fully in support of your demands as well, and Expo's also out here fighting for the same things that we are. So round of applause for Expo. Next up, I'm going to have Omar from the Milwaukee Alliance come and talk about our parks campaign.
Thanks everyone for coming out. I'm just going to talk real quick about the parks campaign that we led. Starting last March, we started going door to door in the community of the 53206 area code around 16th and Nash. We hit up at least, I would say around like 300 houses, 300 houses, 300 signatures, all in support of defunding the sheriff and funding the community. So tell me, we recently got that park name changed from Lindbergh Park to Lucille Berrien Park. So give it up for that. But it's not enough to just change the park name, right? You got to change the park itself. And so that's what we've been saying this whole time. And you know, County Executive David Crowley has the balls to come out and put his face in front of a campaign that he had nothing to do with. He absolutely did nothing for us. And he put his face out in front of it while also deciding to fund the sheriff 6% more this year. And not to mention, he also came up with his own personal security that we're likely paying for. And so we don't support that kind of behavior from the county board. As it's been said many times before, it's been like 10 years that people have known that people do not want more money to go to the sheriff. We asked the most crime impacted areas about this. I had somebody from the police union yelling at me at a county meeting the other day, and he was telling me, well, how could you look at somebody in the face that, you know, has lost a loved one to violence that we should defund the sheriff? I'm like, well, you don't solve them. You only solve like 50% of those cases. So you know, maybe you should think about your conscience. And so the thing is that it's clear that they're not preventing the murders, right? I pointed at them and I told you, you cannot give people more jobs. You cannot clean up these parks, or if we asked you to, you probably wouldn't. You cannot be a lifeguard at the pools, right? You cannot run programs for kids to help them keep out of crime. The police cannot do this. They have not, and they've shown that they will never, ever, ever do that. We keep funding them every year. It's like banging your head against the wall, expecting something different to happen. So we've been leading this campaign since March. We completely attach it to our parks campaign that we definitely need the sheriff's department defunded. And I just also want to give a big shout out to Ryan Clancy over here, who actually took up a lot of these demands and put them on paper, because that's so important. We can't really get this done if we're just out here yelling at people, right, and saying, well, it needs to change. We need solid, concrete demands, and that's something that he helped us get here. So if everyone could just give it up for Ryan Clancy again. And so, you know, we're going to be continuing this work, you know, no matter what happens on Monday. Be sure to tune in on Monday at 9:30 for the county board meeting, because that's when they're basically going to be deciding if they're going to be taking up demands or not. So just be sure to show up. Be sure that, you know, that we're not just going to let this keep happening. And I just want everyone to take a second to kind of look around at the crowd. and we have our signs that says what my community needs. And all of that, do you see any of them that say police?
No!
If there are, they shouldn't be here. That's what we're asking for. Everything that people have on these signs is exactly what we're asking for. It's exactly what the community's been asking for. And so, again, we're with the Milwaukee Alliance. If you want to continue this work, against what the county budget is now and redevelop it into something that actually supports the community, feel free to join our organization. We have our table right up there. We'll have somebody up there, and if you want to do more with us, just feel free to reach out. We're very accessible. So can I hear all power to the people?
All power to the people!
All power to the people!
All power to the people!
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, Omar, on behalf of Milwaukee Alliance. So, real quick, just a big thank you to DSA, to Expo, ComForce, Ryan Clancy, Marper, everyone who showed up today to put action forth to our demands, to tell the county supervisors, we're out here saying defund the police, defund the sheriff's office.
Right.
There's nobody out here having a protest, having a rally saying we want 6% more funding. They simply don't exist. So one more time, when I say fund the community, you say not the police. Fund the community.
Not the police!
Fund the community.
Not the police!
Fund the community.
Not the police!
Woo! All right, thank you so much for being here today. Really quick, I would like to have Erica from TPR come up and talk about something that's coming up for TPR.
Give it up for TPR!
Thank you, Erica.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you. My name's Erica, as she mentioned, and I am from TPR. Right now, we're redeveloping and reorganizing so we can get back to that good work. So right now, I just only have a little poem I wrote to help uplift and empower the people that are fighting in the community. And I just wanted to read that out for you today. Sean Page, who was helping reorganize with the TPR, asked me to do this, and Badger backed me up on it. The movement is not dead. Shit, it shouldn't have been televised. Let me tell you, yes, we are in our last days of misery, poverty, and racism. The movement was a cover-up for the righteous people who filled their lives with love and not hate. It makes my heart sing to know the pretenders can no longer call this their home. We can no longer help. We can no longer hide from what God has ordained. You had a choice of love or hate, just like many of us. We chose love and not to hate. However, your suffering cannot and will not be an excuse for your ignorance. By choosing death over life, you are no better than the oppressor. Everybody say it with me. Fuck 12.
Fuck 12!
We choose life. We choose to believe in what we stand for. We came to your front lines. We came to your homes. We came to your court systems. We came to reclaim our throne. Everybody say it with me. No justice, no peace.
Justice, no peace!
Now the movement is not dead. It just wasn't meant for the fools and the weak-hearted. Death is upon us as it should, following the natural order of life just like the Most High would. Our loved ones are leaving us too soon while their murderers get away with taking their breaths. Say it with me. I can't breathe. Can you breathe?
I can't breathe!
The confused continue to roam the streets, walking day and night in the world we call home, on the planet we call life. See, it was never supposed to be this way. The righteous was on the front line, the energy was powerful, and we were called to our destiny. We all heard our calling. United we stand.
United we fall!
See, when you hear your calling, it doesn't matter where you are in your spirit, your soul reacted. See, a lot of us were unfinished artwork, needing a piece here and there, mending our pain to help overpower the hate, dropping everything we offered, dropping everything to offer love instead of hate. Uplifting our brothers and sisters with weak minds, mending the heartbroken and reversing the curse of time. Why? Because Black Lives Matter. But see, this is where things get interesting. You When you lead your life with love, the enemy attacks, hitting you harder than you ever imagined, testing your will, strengthening your endurance, strengthening your obedience. When all odds are against us, stand up, fight back. Yeah, it's scary. I know, I faced it too. The attackers will have you questioning your whole existence. Hate will have you revisiting wounds you thought you healed. Lack of knowledge will leave you paralyzed. Stand up, fight back. Remain humble, my sisters. Stand up, fight back. Maintain your faith, my brothers. Stand up, fight back. This is the time to regroup and elevate. This is the time for the righteous queens and kings. So revisit that pain you hide, process that hurt inside. It's all right. You're a working piece of progress. The movement can use your willing heart, and we still have the ball in our court. Hate cannot help itself. Hate is in self-destruct. Showing haters true followers, exposing their biggest lies. Fuck 12, fuck 45, and fuck dude. No, the movement is not dead, it has eternal life. The movement lives in the heart of the righteous people. It would never lie, never die. Say their names.
Which one?
Say their names.
Which one?
Say their names.
Which one?
Thank you.
Thank you so much to TPR one more time. Thank you everybody who is here today. Remember, starting 9:30 tomorrow morning. Correct?
Monday morning.
Monday. Yeah. Oh, Monday.
Ryan's telling me tomorrow. Oh, Monday. Okay, Ryan's taking it back. Monday morning. Starting 9:30 Monday morning. Hit up your county supervisor.
Hit them up now for the vote Monday at 9:30.
Perfect. Ryan's going to be out there doing the good work on Monday, making sure that he pushes everything through as much as he can. We have to do our parts. Tell your county supervisor. Really quick, one last round of applause for everybody who is here. Thank you all for being here. And can I have everybody who's representing an organization today, and Ryan Clancy, come on up and take a photo real quick.
Okay, we're gonna have to do this like I need a layer in front and down. Oh yeah, okay, get in and lower, because I'm not gonna be able to get it. Yeah. One row in the front, one row in the back, but I need to be able to see Ryan. If you're in the front, you're gonna get down on one knee. Or climb up to the top, that's perfect. I can't get everybody in there. All right. Can we have the kiddo step out? Just have the kiddo step out, step to the side, y'all. Get over here, babies. Over here, over here, over here. Go to that side. She gonna do a kid picture next. Yeah, we'll do the kids next. All right. All right, look at me. Look at me. Shooting. Perfect.
Oh, y'all want y'all picture next? Oh, okay.
All right, you guys, there you have it. Fund the community, not the cops. This was a protest to bring in more money to help the community, such as Boys and Girl Clubs, any kind of parks and activities for the kids, and ways to help the community instead of putting all the money in the cop programs. Till the next time, you guys, remember, if you can't come real, at least come raw. Raw topic, you guys. See you soon. Monday, I plan on doing the streaming the Kyle Rittenhouse trial. So stay tuned Monday on Facebook, Twitch, or YouTube, you guys. See you soon.